Hello, Vita. Good evening. Continue your chapter, The Rat Trap, written by Salma Lazaroff. Your next paragraph. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Ironmaster, how things are, he said. The whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese rinds, bites of pork, and set to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Ironmaster, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get cut in the trap. Fist means a person's hand bent. The rat trap seller gets so enraged upon hearing about the sheriff that he struck the table very hard with his fist. He said that this world is a rat trap and all the good things are a bait, just like the reins of cheese and small piece of pork are a bait for the rat which are offered to trap it. Not only this, he also pointed out to the ironmaster that he may today be imprisoned by the Sarif, but one day the ironmaster will also get trapped like this. The ironmaster began to laugh. That was so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the Sarif alone on the Christmas Eve. But now, get out of here as fast as you can. The ironmaster didn't like the peddler's word and decided not to call the sheriff. He asked the peddler to leave at once. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that, she went and closed the door. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond, means intervened. Raj means miserable person, bad person. The ironmaster's daughter stopped the peddler. She wanted to help the poor fellow. Since morning, she was planning how she could make the peddler's day happy on the occasion of Christmas. Therefore, she went against her father's will and stopped him by closing the door. I am thinking of the stranger here, said the girl. He walks and walks the whole year and long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Whenever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. The ironmaster mumbled something in his beard. He could not bring himself to oppose her. It was all a mistake. Of course, she continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. She tried to explain the difficulties faced by the paddler. She said that he didn't have any house. He was turned out from wherever he went, and he always kept on running in order to safeguard himself from being arrested. She said that she wanted him to enjoy Christmas with peace as they had promised him. They should not send away a man on Christmas, the man whom they had promised happiness on the day. The ironmaster was not able to find an answer to go against his daughter. You do preach worse than a person, said the ironmaster. I only hope you won't have to regret this. The young girl took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. Now, sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given in. The only thing he could say to his daughter was that she was trying good at convince others, better than the priest at the church. But he also warned her that hopefully her decision would not bring any adverse effect on them. The girl took the peddler to the table and offered him food, and she saw that her father had consented to her wish. The man with the rat traps said not a word. He only sat down and helped himself to the food. Time after time he looked at the young girl who had interceded for him. Why had she done it? What could the crazy idea be? The peddler didn't say any word and started eating, though he was doubtful about her intention and was wondering why she stopped him. After that, Christmas Eve at Ramso passed just as it always had. The stranger did not cause any trouble because he did nothing but sleep. The whole afternoon he lay on the sofa in one of the guest rooms and slept at one stretch. At noon they woke him up so that he could have his share of the good Christmas fare, but after that he slept again. It seemed as though for many years he had not been able to sleep as quietly and safely as here at Ramso. The peddler went to sleep after having food. He did not cause harm to anyone and lay down on the sofa in the guest house. He was once woken up in the afternoon, but after having lunch, he again went to sleep. It was like as if he had never got the chance to sleep so peacefully, and he had got at this place. In the evening, the Christmas tree was lighted. They woke him up again, and he stood for a while in the drawing room, blinking as though the candlelight hurt him. But after that, he disappeared again. 2 hours later, he was aroused once more. He then had to go down into the dining room and eat the Christmas fish and porridge. In the evening, the family woke him as they had to light up the Christmas tree. He stood there, blinking as if he was getting hurt by the bright light of the candles. He again went to sleep. Finally, they called him again for the dinner of Christmas fish and porridge. As soon as they got up from the table, he went around to each one present and said thank you and good night. But when he came to the young girl, she gave him to understand that it was her father's intention that the suit which he wore was to be a Christmas present. He did not have to return it. And if he wanted to spend next Christmas Eve in a place where he could rest in peace and be sure that no evil would befall him, he would be welcomed back again. After the dinner was over, the peddler thanked everyone present. The ironmaster's daughter said that the clothes which were given to him were a Christmas present from her father, so he could carry them with him. She even invited the peddler to be with her family for the next Christmas Eve and promised that nothing bad would happen to him. The man with the rat traps did not answer anything to this. He only stared at the young girl in boundless amazement. The next morning, Ironmaster and his daughter got up in a good season to go to the early Christmas service. Their guest was still asleep and they did not disturb him. Boundless means limitless, amazement means wonder. The peddler did not have an answer for this and stared at the girl with wonder. Next day, both Ironmaster and his daughter went for the Christmas service early in the morning. They didn't disturb their guest as he was. When at about 10 o'clock, they drove back from the church. The young girl sat and hung her head even more dejectedly than usual. At church, she had learned that one of the old crofter of the ironwork had been robbed by a man who went around selling rat traps. Yes, that was a fine fellow you let into the house, said her father. I only wonder how many silver spoons are left in the cupboard by this time. Both Ironmaster and his daughter had come to know that a rat trap seller had stolen money from the old crofter. They realized that he was the same man whom they had over as a guest. The ironmaster said that it was his daughter who insisted to give shelter to a thief and was wondering that how many silver spoons had been stolen by him. The wagon had hardly stopped at the front steps when the ironmaster asked the valet whether the stranger was still there. He added that he had heard at church the man was a thief. The valet answered that the fellow had gone and that he had not taken anything with him at all. On the contrary, he had left behind a little package which Miss Williamson was to be kind enough to accept as a Christmas present. The ironmaster, on reaching home, inquired about the peddler from the valet from the servant. He also told him that he was a thief. To his surprise, the valet told him that the peddler, instead of taking something, had left a small Christmas gift for Miss Bill Benson. The young girl opened the package, which was so badly done up that the content came into view. At once she gave a little cry of joy. She found a small rat trap, and in it lay three wrinkled 10 kroner notes. But that was not all. In the rat trap lay also a letter, written in large, jagged character, honored and noble miss. Since you have been so nice to me all day long, as if I was a captain, I want to be nice to you in a return, as if I was a real captain, for I do not want you to be embarrassed as this Christmas season by a thief. But you can give back the money to the old man on the roadside who has the money pouch hanging on the window frame as a bait for poor wanderers. The rat trap is a Christmas present from a rat who would have been cut in this world's rat trap if he had not been raised to captain, because in that way he got power to clear himself. Written with friendship and high regard, Captain Bonstelli. The ironmaster's daughter opened the gift. It was so roughly packed that she could easily guess what was inside the pack. Apart from a rat trap, three kronos note, there was a letter. The peddler had thanked his host who had taken care of him as if he was a real captain. In return, he gifted her a rat trap and also requested her to return the stolen money to the old man. He said that it was she who let him free from the rat trap by raising the status from that of a mere peddler to that of a captain. At last, he undersigned as Captain Bonstein. Thank you. Have a nice day.